Hey you guys, hey everyone, welcome to my channel. So let me give you guys a rundown of what was supposed to happen today. I was supposed to go live with Wildflower Gypsy. She is another content creator that covers the teen mom. She just done a video about Macy's mom speaking out. So she covers teen mom and all of that. Now what the original plan was, I've been trying to get her on my channel for a while now, ever since she was on my channel. And there's been a lot of, trying to work around our schedules. So we said that we was going to do a live today so we could kind of go off the episode last night. Now, the episode last night was pretty interesting because of the situation, obviously, around Amber, also with Macy dealing with the situation where she's coming out of the gas station shooting, where she's dealing with the trauma from that. So there's a lot to talk about. But then last night, Amber Portwood went on an IG Live where she went on a rant saying that Christina is a homebreaker, that Gary stole money from her. And she insinuates that Leah lied about some of the situations surrounding what goes on when she's with her mom at her mom's house. So I'm going to let you guys listen to that. We're going to listen to some parts from last night's episode, but Wildflower Gypsy, I haven't heard from her today, so I don't know what's going on. I don't have like a personal phone number from her, so I had to email her and I sent her a message on IG, but if she don't check it, she's not going to see. So I'm sad that she's missing it. We may have gotten her days mixed up. I'm not sure. Maybe she thought I meant next Wednesday. That's very possible. So I am going to play the clips from her IG Live. Your name is tripping me out so bad. Holy crap. I will be playing some clips from her IG Live. I do want to say I am not a doctor. I am not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. And we know that Amber suffers from borderline personality disorder. She's also bipolar. So it's kind of a touchy subject to talk. It's not like we're talking about someone that doesn't have any mental illness, because she does, unfortunately. And there's a lot of times where when I listen to her, I find myself getting so mad. And then I have to be like, what do we do? Do we hold them to the same standard that we hold, anybody else their age? Or are we kind of like, oh, no, she's got a mental illness, so we can't hold her to that standard? I don't know. So I'm just going to speak from the heart, honestly, today. That's how I'm going to talk about the situation. And if someone that knows more about the mental illness that Amber has is in the chat and wants to talk more about it, you guys can. But right now, I can just honestly say that I think Amber, just my opinion, I think Amber has possibly relapsed in some form. She's very all over the place, but I don't know enough about borderline personality disorder to know if maybe she's just off her medicine, and that's why she's so all over the place. Because she went on an IG Live the other day saying that she was going to karate kick people, the trolls, that she could kick them and spin at the same time as her legs flying through the air. I don't know. And then the very next day, when someone brought it up about the karate, she said, I didn't say that. What are you talking about? I would never do that. So it's very I've seen that behavior before, where someone will be on a live stream and say something, and then the very next day or a few days later say, I didn't say that. I never say that. It's just, I don't know, you guys. It's obviously concerning, to say the least. Thank you, Fairy Dusted 999. Amber is full of it. I'm going to kind of agree with you there. So first, we're going to listen to a part of last night's episode where they're discussing what Leah wants to do for her party. You guys let me know if you can hear it.
Are you excited for your birthday?
Mm-hmm. What do you want to do?
I want to do something with friends and go shopping and get our nails done and go to lunch.
So what do you want to do for the family side? Who do you want to invite?
You, Christina, Emily, and Grandma Tanya.
Your mom?
No.
I tell you, it's really important that, you spend time with your mom.
I don't want to, though.
Is there, something that happened? Is there something, a way you feel?
We don't really have, a bond like that. 12 years and she hasn't really done anything. That's kind of been, Christina's spot. I'm just a bonus mom, though.
Yeah. I don't want you writing your mom off and saying, I can't have a relationship with her and that kind of thing, because, you know, at some point you should be able to have a relationship with her.
All she did was give birth to me.
Oh, yeah, she took care of you too. She might not have always been there, but she was there. I just don't want you missing out on something that could be there. But, you know, if you're not letting her come over and you're not letting her spend time with you, then you're never going to have what you've missed or don't have. You see? I mean, if she's going to try to repair it and vice versa, are you going to let her? Mom's important.
And I guess that maybe she can come to the family party thing.
So, I want to message your mom real quick. We are doing a birthday thing for Leah. You're invited if you want to come.
Okay, so they're, they're asking her, what do you want to do? You know, some friends. Well, what about your family? What do you want to do there? Just have a little something at the house. Who do you want to invite? She literally names just her immediate family, Christina's daughter that she has with Gary. And then she says Grandma Tanya, which is Amber's mom. She wants to invite Amber's mom. And to me, I think that says a lot because she wants to invite the grandma that she probably, normally you have a better relationship or a stronger bond with your mom versus your grandmother, but she would rather invite just her mom's mom, her grandmother versus her mom. And Gary is like, well, what about your mom? She needs to come. And she says, we don't have a bond. She says, all she done was give birth to me. She's done nothing else. And Gary, you hear him trying to encourage her to invite her. No, it's important. Your mom's important. At one point, I don't know if he said it here or if it's in the next scene, he says, if she's trying, you need to be trying. And then she finally says, okay, I guess you can invite her. So Gary texts her. And in that scene, it shows Gary pick up the phone. It shows him in their text messages texting her to say, like, hey, he's reading it off as he says it, hey, you're invited. Now I'm going to let you guys listen to another part from last night.
Yeah. FYI, I don't think your mom's going to be here today. Yesterday, I messaged her and reminded her about today. She said, I would like to do something with Leah Friday evening for dinner.
I don't want one-on-one with her like that.
Do you want to text her and tell her this later?
I'll talk to her later.
I know right now you feel a certain way, and I'm trying to help you out, kid. I love you.
I me too.
I love.
Okay, so what happened was they invited Amber to the cookout, right? Later on in the IG Live that Amber done last night, she's going to say that was a lie, that was a setup, that was scripted, that Gary was pretending to text her pretty much. But there's also a part where she calls the producer and basically says that she was invited, but she didn't want to do it. I'll let you guys listen to that as well.
Whole situation with the birthday thing was just a bit odd to me.
I get that.
I like to do things off camera with my daughter as on her birthday. We did last year. Nothing was said to me, and I just didn't understand it. And then all of a sudden, now there's a hibachi chef coming. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if I go, I'm gonna feel a bit uneasy.
Yeah.
Once Leah starts stopping with the excuses of seeing me, I want to have a good relationship with all of them. I really do. But if this is how it is, I'm just going to give it space.
Okay, so clearly she's talking to the producer. They're on the phone, and she says, there's going to be a hibachi thing, and there's going to be a chef. I'm not comfortable with that. If this is how it's going to be with her with the excuses, then I'm just going to back away. Well, first off, it's not your birthday party, Amber. It's your daughter's birthday party. So whatever the hell she wants to do is what she should be able to do. I don't give a crap if she wants to go hang out with Bozo the clown all day long. And you hate Bozo, you hate clowns. It's your daughter, you go. It's not up to you what she does. But she was like, I'm uncomfortable with that. Why? They have to be tested. That's the thing. She can't say COVID because before they let that chef walk on that property and film with them, guarantee you he was tested more than once. More than once. So her saying she was uncomfortable, like it wasn't your day. And her saying, you know, oh, I don't think I'm going to go. Well, that proves right there you were invited. Because if you weren't invited, you would be singing a whole different story. You would be talking to the producer saying, they didn't even invite me. I heard about it through the grapevine, or my mom told me because my mom was invited, but they didn't even invite me. But that's not what you said. What she said was, I'm not going because I'm uncomfortable. And if, you know, I wanted a one-on-one, well, why couldn't you go to the birthday party? Because you were invited and it's your daughter's birthday party. And then once you were there saying, you know what, I would really like to do something one-on-one with you. Maybe next weekend we can go to the movies, whatever, rather than saying, I'm not going to that because it's not my way. I hate to tell you, but at 30 years old, when you have kids, you hardly ever get anything your way. And that's just the cold hard truth of it. And it's, you can't be selfish anymore. And I think that's a huge problem with Amber. Is she is so selfish. Now I'm going to let you guys listen to the IG live that she done last night, where she claimed that she was never invited. She claims that Leah lied. At one point on the show, Leah said, and she said, Mom sleeps a lot when I'm there. She did not say Mom sleeps in. She said Mom sleeps a lot. Amber tries to twist it to say, Leah never stays the night at my house. So how am I sleeping in if she's not even staying the night there? Well, either Amber thinks that we're stupid, so we're not going to catch on to how she's flipping this, or I don't know. I think she thinks we're stupid, because what Leah said was she sleeps a lot while we're there. And we know from watching her on TV, we know from things that, you know, other people have said that know her, she sleeps a lot during the day. So maybe she's coming over. Maybe Leah's coming over. Maybe they'll go out to eat. And then maybe she sleeps the rest of the time. And Leah's like, this is not fun for me. Whatever the reason is, Leah does not want to go over there. I'm going to let you guys listen to the IG live. Now, it kind of starts off to where it takes her a minute to start talking. And she's very like, at points, she's very like, it's just very low toned. Whereas sometimes she's like in a rage, you know, F you, blah, blah, blah. This time she's like mellow. Maybe when she's like on her medication, she's more mellow. I don't know. All right, so we're going to listen to this.
Didn't have that conversation on her birthday. Her birthday wasn't about having a huge conversation. Her birthday was about letting her know that I wanted to spend time with her and just more time with her. That's all I wanted to do. And to celebrate her becoming a preteen. That's it. That's all I wanted. I've already tried to get a hold of Gary, guys. He ignored me and everything. I've been getting ignored now for about a month.
Yep, once a week.
I've been texting. And I've been ignored.
What we need to remember too, though, is she's talking about how she's being ignored, right? Well, it was just a couple weeks ago that she went on a rant about them. You guys remember when the episode aired where Christina jokingly said, oh, Amber's like another child of ours who they've been trying to help. Mind you, let's get a modular home. We'll buy it, move it on our property so you can be closer to Leah. You know, you'll just have to pay us rent, which you're already paying rent. So we'll help you out there. And she's like, I don't know if I want to be that close to Leah because I don't want her just, you know, barging in my house. Literally, that's one of the things that she said. It's, I don't want her just barging in my house. That may be too close to y'all, you know. So when that episode aired, she went off on them. She said that Gary had cheated on Christina, that Gary had tried to mess with her, that production knew about it. So she done a lot that if I was Gary, I wouldn't be answering the phone for her either.
I just want her to know. Just show up. What do you mean? You don't just like show up at people's houses. That's weird.
That's not what they meant.
It's not. You don't just do that. That's probably not the best way to get a preteen. I know I have rights, but I'm not pushing away my daughter. It's not how you do it. I just want to show her love and show her that I'm still there. And that's what I've been doing. Nothing keeps me from my kid. Well, a lot of things keep me from mine. And it's two people.
And this is what I have to say to that. You know, I've said this. I've said that I have 6 children so many times. I feel like it gets old. And I feel like you guys that have been watching me a lot, you're like, we know. But here's the thing. I got pregnant at 17. I had my daughter at 18. I know everybody's life is not the same. But it was hard for me at 17, you know, finding out I was pregnant and being a mom at 18. But when you have a child as a female, that child is yours. Even if the dad wants to be involved, a lot of times they have to take you to court just to get visitation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are the main person that tends to that child for the most part. So the reason you don't have your child and the reason people supposedly can stand in the way is actions, your own actions. It's nothing that they done, you know. It's not like, oh, I had these kids and people just took them away from me. Like, you have to take accountability that if you believe that these people really are keeping this child from you, do something about it. Take them to court. Like, try to get you. Don't just sit on your butt waiting for something to happen. So I hate when I hear her say like that other people have control of her kids, because it's like, well, guess what? If you wouldn't have crapped it up so much in the beginning, you would have control of your kids. You know, my daughter, I'm just going to throw this out there. My daughter has oppositional defiant disorder. She's 16 now, and I think she's basically grown out of it. But when you have that and you're a child, it's very hard. So when she got to about 8 years old, she was just set bound and determined to live with her dad. And I was like, hell no, you're not living with your dad. But she made life here miserable until I finally, the way that I thought about it was, you know what, you're going to have to live with him to see that it's not all what it's cracked up to be. So I let her go stay with him for a while. And he thought that I just didn't know how to parent her. And it was the same thing happened with my mom, ironically enough. He thought, you don't know how to parent you. You don't know how to, you know, deal with her. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So she went over there and she's saying that it wasn't cracked up to what it was. And he's saying that she was not, you know, some perfect little angel. While my child is my little angel, she was not a perfect little angel, and she could be a little hellion at times, you know, to get what she wanted. And oppositional defiant disorder is not ADD, it's ODD. It's hard to deal with a child with that. But there was not one time, not one morning, every morning, the short time that she was at her dad's, every morning I spoke to her. Every evening I spoke to her. Every weekend she'd come to my house. And I still did not give them any rights over me. Like, at any point in time, I could go get her and I could bring her butt home. Any point in time I could. And they at one point was like, you should, you know, let us get, you know, joint custody. I was like, if you want that, you got to take me to court, because my kids are my life. And I feel like that's the way that it should be. Now, you know, addiction is a different thing. Mental disorder is a different thing. But I feel like when you have a child, if you put them first, it's going to, you know, it'll work out to where you have the control over who they're with or where they go. And, you know, even at the age of like 12, 13, kids are not always going to want to go visit their other parent, but you can't take it so personally. Like, she may just be going through something like, I'd rather spend time here where I'm comfortable or with my friends. But she literally takes everything so personal.
I hope this is a phase because I really hope she knows, well, from what I've been doing, how much I've been reaching out to her personally, actually. Just wanting my daughter, and I don't know. No. What are you talking about? Everybody else showed up because they were invited. I wasn't. I wasn't invited, you guys. You heard it out of your own mouth.
Okay, you guys, do you guys hear this? She says she didn't show up because she wasn't invited. She said you heard it out of your own mouth. Now, clearly she means you heard it out of their mouth. I don't know. But I'm because even if you have a mental disorder, is there, like, with this, have you thinking things happen that didn't happen? I don't understand that, how she could sit there and say, I was not invited. You guys saw that I wasn't invited. It would literally be like me saying it's raining outside where it's not here, you know, and you guys all be sitting in here with me in my living room and me saying it's raining outside. It's raining outside. Me open the door saying, see? And you are like, what is she talking about? It's not raining. You know, like, okay, yes, I think you're correct. I mean, she's gaslighting her fans. Yes.
I wasn't invited. Like, why are you asking the stupidest questions when you watch the show? I don't need to do anything. I've already stepped up. I've stepped up over and over and over again. I wasn't invited. So I wanted to do something alone and just have an enjoying time with just me and her. No, I wasn't invited. That was fake, guys. That was fake. It's fucking fake.
Okay, so another thing that I have to say, if she's saying now that it's fake, then why a while ago was she saying that we saw it? If it was obvious on the show, I was never invited. You guys saw that. They didn't invite me. Then why now would it be like it was fake? When people started saying, you know, you were invited, she should have been like, no, you guys, I actually wasn't invited. What happened was they set that up to make it look like Gary texted me, but I actually wasn't invited. You guys didn't see that. But she said we did see it. So I don't know if she's just lying at this point, if she's trying to gaslight us, if it's the mental disorder that's making her think this. I don't understand.
Probably shouldn't tell a 12-year-old that this is her job. Gary invited me, but okay, he literally said that, Leah, this is your job.
Now she's admitting, this is why this IG Live is so mind-blowing, because now she's admitting that Gary invited her and not saying that it was fake. It was fake. You guys saw it. She was not invited. You saw it. It was staged. It was fake. Gary did invite her. And what Gary told her was that if your mom is trying, you should try too. Gary never told Leah that anything was her job other than to put effort into the relationship as long as Amber is. So why the heck would Amber be mad about that? Why would Amber be mad that he is saying, you know, if your mom's putting forth an effort, you need to be doing that as well?
No, I had my COVID test too. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. It wasn't just one thing. We have to take 3 COVID tests a week. There were stupid little things. I don't fucking remember, nor do I care. All I know is I wanted my own time. No Christina, no Gary in the way. Point blank, there was no need for anything else. I don't need to sit here and explain. There's people all over the world that sit there and do it like this. They have their own thing that they do with their kids. They don't do what me and Gary and Christina was doing. Like, why do you guys think that was even normal? Like, that's not 100% normal. In fact, that's barely anybody's with their exes do things together like that. Usually it's separate birthdays. So what are you talking about?
Okay, so here, this is what she's saying. Like, it's not even normal. I wanted to have some time with Leah alone, because normally when you're split up, you have separate birthday parties. Let me tell you guys, I have 2 children. Me and their dad were together literally from the time I was like 18 to 21 almost. We have 2 children. It was my goal to invite him to every one of their birthday parties for years, because I wanted my children to see that me and their dad didn't have to do the separate thing, that we could all be together to celebrate them, that we could all get along. I don't know what type of person in their mind would think that it would be better to teach their children that we can't have the same party, that we need to do it separate. Just the fact that she's even saying most people don't even do that. Yeah, that's because most people can't get along, but that's not what you strive to do. You want to get along so you can do things with your family. I know that we don't see everything on the show. I'm well aware of that. But everything that I've ever seen, they really do try very hard, Christina and Gary, to include her, to make her feel like she is a part of, the family. That, they were literally inviting her over all the time so she could spend time with Leah. They went and picked Leah up from school. Christina did, with Amber. She invited Amber, come with me to pick, Leah up from school. Then we'll go out on the boat. And when Leah got in the car, Leah said, "What are you doing here?" And she was like, "What? Can I not come with you?" But they tried very hard. I've done the same thing for many years. My daughter just had her sweet 16. And guess what? Her biological dad was there. That's something that you want to do. You want your children to see that you can be together, So to me, it's so hard because I see a lot of comments about the mental illness. So I don't know where you draw that line to this is her just being a straight up butthole and being selfish, or if this is her mental illness. I don't know.
Like, what are you really talking about? So no. To do what? Sit around my house? I don't sit around my house. So I don't know what you're talking about. I don't sit around my house. You can at her as long as you want. Nobody gives a shit. Christina is not nice. She's quiet. And I've never heard her talk so much other than when I'm not there. When I'm there, she's barely talks at all. I have to sit there and open up conversation to her.
Oh,
what does she do for a living?
She said, Christina's very quiet, that when she's there, she has to start a conversation with Christina. Maybe Christina's scared. If I was ever with Amber, I'd be scared. Oh, Jesus. If I say something, she may bite my head off. I don't know what to say because she gets mad at everything. I'm going to let you guys listen to a clip later from the end of the show where she calls her brother, Sean. Sean's got a lot of heat, especially during the time of the Andrew situation. Because he, appeared to be taken up for his sister. But on the show, she calls him and he, tries to tell her, well, you've been absent a little bit. And she goes off on him pretty much and gets mad. Same when she had lunch with her mom that one day. Her mom was like, well, you got to be there. And she's like, I am there. It's like, Amber, is it not dawning on you that every time you have a conversation with people, you end up mad, even though they're just trying to help you? I need to get someone that's an expert on this mental illness on here with me so you guys can tell me if I'm thinking too much into this, if this is her mental illness.
I don't know. Before the show started, she went to nursing school after I said a couple weeks before that I was going to sign up for college. So, it's weird. And then all of a sudden there was 50 million pictures of her going to school, and then this huge photo shoot to show how much they loved each other. So Yeah, there's nothing weird about that.
It's not. To me, like when Christina got with Gary, she had one child. A lot of people decide later on in life they want to go back to college just because Amber said, I'm going to college. And then Christina, pops up to go to nursing school. What is weird about that? It's to me, it's almost like she's extremely paranoid about things too.
Stupid. Just, where were you when the pandemic was going on? Everything's always for the show. She does sit home at home, and she is Gary's maid. That's all it is. I don't like what's going on right now. I don't like how my child is being raised. I don't like her being spoiled. I don't like any of it. I was there. I am there. But she's being told everything else. And of course, there's going to be backlash for this. But if they want to keep opening up their mouths, it's not going to be good. I'm done. If she has the audacity to sit there and lie, all right, okay.
Okay, now this is actually aimed at Leah. If she has the audacity to sit there and lie, because if you listen to, she follows up with about the sleep situation. So she's talking about where Leah said that she sleeps.
That's ridiculous. I'd never thought in a million years. This is my own.
Her own daughter is what she wants to say.
Smart.
She's too smart.
I don't get it. Didn't have that conversation on her birthday. Her birthday wasn't about having a huge conversation. Her birthday was about letting her know that I wanted to spend time with her and just more time with her. That's all I wanted to do. And to celebrate her becoming a preteen. That's it. That's all I wanted.
That's her train, not mine.
I've already tried to get a hold of Gary, guys. He ignored me.
Don't blame him.
And everything. I've been getting ignored now for about a month.
Which is that's about when she went on that rant. That's about how long it's been since she went on that rant saying that Gary tried to cheat on Christina with her and Christina was a homewrecker and all that. So I would too. There's times where I have to ignore my older kid's dad. If he, you just have to, because your life cannot revolve around them. Like, she has mental disorders, and the biggest part of me just wish that I knew if she's taken the proper medications. I know she's had a lot going on, like as far as being misdiagnosed and not being on the correct medication. So now I wonder if she ever got on the right medication, and if she's on it now, and if she's still acting this way, or if she's acting this way because she's not on the right medication. I wished I knew that. But here's the thing, when you have family members that are addicts or they suffer from mental health issues, I have the biggest heart. So I give my family members, chance after chance after chance after chance. But there has been times where it impedes upon my happiness, and it makes it where I'm not happy. I have a very close friend who is an addict, and it's stressful to have to worry about where she is, if she's safe, mental illness. Like, I could not just continue to let someone like Amber cause me heartache and pain, regardless if it was my sister, mom, mom, dad, you can't let it ruin your life. As hard as that is to say, I mean, should Gary continue putting up with Amber, and these highs and lows? He has for a long time. So should he do it for the rest of his life because they have a child together? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Texting. And I've been ignored. I just want her to know. Just show up. What do you mean? You don't just like show up at people's houses. That's weird. That's not. You don't just do that. That's probably not the best way to get a preteen. I have rights, but I'm not pushing away my daughter. It's not how you do it. I just want to show her love and show her that I'm still there. That's what I've been doing. Nothing keeps me from my kid. Well, a lot of things keep me from mine. And it's two people. I hope this is a phase because I really hope she knows, well, from what I've been doing, how much I've been reaching out to her personally, actually. Just wanting my daughter, and I don't know. No. What are you talking about? Everybody else showed up because they were invited. I wasn't. I wasn't invited, you guys. You heard it out of your own mouth. I wasn't invited. Like, why are you asking the stupidest questions when you watch the show? I don't need to do anything. I've already stepped up. I've stepped up over and over and over again. I wasn't invited. So I wanted to do something alone and just have enjoying time with just me and her. No, I wasn't invited. That was fake, guys. That was fake. It's fucking fake. You probably shouldn't tell a 12-year-old that this is her job.
I feel like we've seen this part. She did, Candy.
Gary
yes.
invited me, but okay. He literally said that, Leah, this is your job. No, I had my COVID test too. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. It wasn't just one thing. We have to take 3 COVID tests a week. There were stupid little things. I don't fucking remember, nor do I care. All I know is I wanted my own time. No Christina, no Gary in the way. Point blank, there was no need for anything else. I don't need to sit here and explain. There's people all over the world that sit there and do it like this. They have their own thing that they do with their kids. They don't do what me and Gary and Christina was doing. Like, why do you guys think that was even normal? Like, that's not 100% normal.
I
In
rewinded
fact,
this at some
that's
point.
barely anybody's with their exes do things together like that. Usually it's separate birthdays. So what are you talking about? Like, what are you really talking about? So no. To do what? Sit around my house? I don't sit around my house. So I don't know what you're talking about. I don't sit around my house. You can at her as long as you want. Nobody gives a shit. Christina is not nice. She's quiet. When I'm there, she's like a very.
I'm trying to fast forward because we saw.
What did
this
she do for a
part.
living? Oh, I don't know. Before the show started, she went to nursing school after I said a couple weeks before that I was going to sign up for college. So, it's weird. And then all of a sudden, there was 50 million pictures of her going to school. And then this huge photo shoot to show how much they loved each other. So, yeah, there's nothing weird about that. It's stupid. Just, where were you when the pandemic was going on?
I don't know what that means. Like, oh.
She does sit home at home, and she is Gary's maid. That's all it is. I don't like what's going on right now. I don't like how my child is being raised. I don't like her being spoiled. I don't like any of it. I was there. I am there. But she's being told everything else. And of course, there's going to be backlash for this. But if they want to keep opening up their mouths, it's not going to be good. I'm done. If she has the audacity to sit there and lie, all right, okay, that's ridiculous. I'd never thought in a million years. This is my own. It's too damn smart. I don't get it.
She is saying that she's saying, okay, that was all of the first one. Let me play the second one. She's saying that Leah is lying. And she goes, she's my own kid. She's too smart. I don't get it.
Have you guys ever seen Christina's daughter on television? Don't bash Christina trolls. Have you guys ever seen Christina's daughter on television? Yeah, Leah does know what's up. Oh, once? Well, why isn't she on there anymore? She mothered my child? Are you sure about that? No, actually, she wasn't allowed to have her kid on the show.
I don't know what that had. I'm not sure what her point is with this. Like, that's another thing that threw me off. She comes in big and bad, like her kid isn't on the show. The kid that she shares with Gary is on the show, but she has a child with her ex-husband, and the ex-husband did not want him to be on the show. So she doesn't put that other child on the show. I don't know what the big deal is with that.
When you're a whore, you're a whore.
Wow. She's slut shaming.
When you're a homewrecker, you're a homewrecker.
And isn't she the one that's like, I mean, for her to say that, like, didn't she talk about how she met this guy at Walmart and took him home? And Am I making that up?
When you're a liar, you're a liar. Money was stolen from me when I was in prison. I was told that when I got out, I would have my family.
Of course he would tell you that.
All the while,
so she's calling Christina a whore. But this is what she's saying. She's saying, when I went to prison, I was told that I would have a family when I get out, that me and Gary would be together. Well, let me tell you guys something. When you have a loved one, Paris and Caden's dad went to jail for a little bit early on in our relationship before I had Caden, and he was suffering a lot as well. And his parents wanted to have him put in rehab. And he called me and was like, are we going to be together when I get out? And I was like, yeah. But I had no idea. But I knew if I would have told him no, that he probably wouldn't have went. So maybe Gary did say, yeah, when you get out, we'll be together. I don't know. But you can't just expect him to sit around waiting for how long? How long was she in jail? I don't even know, like 18 months. I mean, men, they're most of the time, like women, they may wait, but men, not so much. Like they tend to move on, so you can't, come on.
I was being cheated on.
Because he wanted to tell you while you were in jail. Hey, sorry, I met someone new.
I'm not jealous of Christina. There's nothing about Christina that even makes me jealous in any sense. And I don't try to be mean for that one. I'm just telling the truth. No, it's not on Gary. Christina said that she had never seen the show, guys. She was from Anderson. She respects her because she brings her out to Starbucks, gets her nails done, and spends over $1,000-something of clothing on her.
Okay, first off, let me tell you something.
Well, I'd respect her too.
That's a bunch of baloney. That is a bunch of baloney. I've never seen them take her shopping in a ridiculous way. But you guys remember when Amber and Matt took Leah shopping when she was like 8 and they spent like $900 on her? They bought her a whole bunch of clothes. Taking your kids to Starbucks and taking your little girl to get their nail done is not spoiling them. You want to know what me and my daughter do? I have 6 children. I'll probably say it again before I get off here. But I have 2 daughters. One is about to be 4 and one just turned 16. That is one of the things that me and my 16-year-old, we do to spend time together, to get out of the house, just me and her. I do the same thing with my boys. Me and my 7-year-old went to the big town not too long ago and went to the mall. Like, how is that spoiling them? Especially if Leah has a drink at Starbucks or a treat at Starbucks that she really likes. Maybe after school, run by, Christina gets a coffee and Leah gets, a little snack, and they run and get their nails done. Christina, Leah, and the other 2 girls that she has. How is that spoiling her? That is ridiculous.
See, I wasn't raised that way. I was raised to not spoil my child.
But you clearly was raised to not know how to raise your child either, because you don't have either one.
Why should this be kept to myself when everything else is just put out there? Christina doesn't do anything for Leah.
You just said she spoils her. Starbucks and get her nails done.
What does Christina do?
Spoils
She doesn't do
her.
anything. Leah wanted to live with me.
When?
Until they went to Disney World.
Doubt it.
I don't spoil Leah. She only gets things on her birthdays and things like that.
let me tell you something. Being a parent, you don't get your kids stuff just on their birthdays. Any of you guys that are in this chat right now, the only time you get your kids something for their birthday is on their birthday. Like the only time you get your kids something is only on their birthday. When my kids get home from school, if I was to run to the store and my husband is the same way, almost every time we come back with like a little bit of candy or like an icy or something. Like, it's just what we do. I've never known of a family that they only buy their kids something on their birthday. Now, maybe Amber does not know this because she's not been a stable mom. I don't know, but you guys know that I used to be friends with somebody who used to date her. And he said that a lot of times when Leah would come over, that him and Leah would go to the movies during the day while Amber slept. That's not what you do either.
That's it. I try to invest time with Leah. All the time.
Love you, Matt.
All the time. That's all I ever do. She doesn't take care of my daughter.
Yes, she does.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does.
No, Gary does not clothe her, feeds her, or nothing like that. Gary wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for me in the very beginning. And also, you guys, please, you're making me fucking just...
Oh, I'm sorry. I was supposed to put out a warning. I'm so sorry. Foul language. I'm so sorry. I usually try to make sure you guys are aware of that. So I want to say this. I don't know for sure, but Gary was a cop at one point. I don't know if he still is a cop. Christina just announced recently again that she's going back to school for nursing. They do own a lot of land. They have a farmland. They have, I think they have rent houses as well. From the last time I heard, Amber did owe some child support because she was not paying monthly. This is just stuff that I heard. That I may be off on this information, but this is just information that I was given that she did owe child support. Gary was a cop. Christina was going back to school for nursing. And here's what I got to say about that. You remember, like, the show is called Teen Mom, but Gary become a teen dad basically because Amber went to jail. So when she says that, like, it's because of me he has a job, at this point it's because of him that you still have a job. I think. That's what I think. I think the show should be centered around whoever has the child and you are the other parent. Just like when Barb had Jace. I think the show should have been centered around Barb and Jace and then bring Janelle in when she had something to do with Jace. Elle Bee, keeping it real. Thank you. Keeping up with KP. Tennessee Ball Mom. I support people who are trying to work on the recovery journey of their mental health, but they have to live with the consequences of bad choices. Absolutely. And that's what I don't see with Amber. I do not see Amber taking accountability. She wants to blame things on everyone, including her own daughter. Like, no age limit. No age limit. You can be blamed. Like, now she's taking shots at Leah.
They spoil my daughter.
And?
My daughter has not been with me. In the same breath, I've been in an Airbnb for a couple years, which is one of the major reasons why I definitely, just with everything going on with other stuff, understandable. But to sit there and say in the same breath, I sleep in when she does stay over.
That's not what she said.
That's not possible if you don't stay over.
That's not what she said.
I'm not full of myself.
You are.
At all. In any way. I'm just honest, and I don't care what you think.
You've lied 5 times just in this video. I'm sorry.
Spoiling a child is horrible. Spoiling a child turns people into absolutely misguided and very delusional people when it comes to the world that we really live in. You don't see my son for a reason, and that's none of your business.
The reason...
That was something that I didn't have to fight about. I'm not a narcissist. I'm a person that knows the truth. If that makes me a narcissist, I don't care. I'm not turning into fucking Farrah. Are you stupid? How am I Farrah? The fuck are you talking about?
If I could have cut the language
Children
out of it,
need
I would
love.
have.
I
I'm so
give
sorry.
plenty of love to my children. I know how my daughter feels. Don't tell me how my daughter fucking feels. I know how my daughter feels. I've talked to my daughter without the cameras a couple times. I know how she really feels. I don't care if you think I'm cuckoo. I don't care. I wanted my daughter on her birthday alone because for some odd reason, which I have text messages of,
Show them.
she wanted me to come
Never mind.
to
Don't.
the party, but then she was talked out of it somehow.
Maybe she changed her mind.
And then she texted me back and said, never mind, come over with the $400 I had spent on makeup.
That's what Leah said. She wants us to believe that Leah said, I want you to come. Never mind, I don't. But come over in a couple days with the gift that somehow I already know you got me. That costs for. How did Leah know that she got her $400 worth of makeup? And she wants to talk about Gary and Christina spoiling. Leah, let me tell you something. I take my kid to get her nails done. We may go to a Starbucks if we're in the big city. For but I ain't buying her butt no $400 worth of makeup. Now who's spoiling the child?
And spend some time with me. Well, if you go out to dinner, what, am I supposed to spend a couple hours with you on your birthday?
Yes. Better than nothing.
See, what? No. What I want to do is spend time.
Nope.
I want to spend my day. I want to spend time with her. Now, her becoming a preteen to me was a big deal. I wanted to give her a nice gift. Some makeup that I use, because she really liked the makeup I used. So I did go all out for her.
But Gary and Christina's not allowed to. They're not allowed to go all out for
Because
her.
she's a preteen, and she just didn't want to. I just wanted her to be happy and to have time with me and her so I could sit there and talk to her and understand her feelings. That's it. I sincerely just wanted to spend time with her and talk to her, and that's it. And instead, I hear this shit tonight, which almost just not only broke my heart, but I was confused. Don't bash Christina trolls. Have you?
Okay, let's go to the next one. And what I do want to say here as well, though, I'm not talking about anyone else with a mental disorder. If you have borderline personality disorder or bipolar, and you're on here listening to the way I'm talking at Amber, please don't take offense to it as like, oh, I have this, so she's talking to me too. No, absolutely not. I don't know your situation, but what I know is what I see with her, and I watched her for 10 years. So that's why I feel like I can talk more about her. And really, when it comes down to it, my heart hurts for Leah, because Leah, she is Leah's mom. And Leah, as a 12-year-old, does not even want to see her and spend time with her, to have her over on her birthday. That is heartbreaking. And it's heartbreaking, just human to human, seeing another person be this way. Like, I wish she would get help. She has 2 children that need a mom, you know? So please don't ever take what I say about her situation and think that I'm talking about you. I'm definitely not. This is the last one. Hold on. And then this is the last one we're going to listen to. This is the last clip that I have. And then we're going to listen to her phone call with her brother from the show. And then I'm going to take some calls if some of you want to join the live. And I saw Stephanie earlier. You said you wanted to come in to talk about it a little bit. And we'll do that.
It's going to hurt me to say this, and I might get in trouble. Can't say it. I'm hurt. I'm very hurt. Don't fucking call me Janelle. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Don't ever compare me in your fucking life to Janelle. Do you understand me? There is nothing of comparison. I don't live in the same state where you can just apparently get away with anything. So I really don't give a shit what that state says about me at all. Apparently you can just kill dogs and right in front of children and get noses bitten off and you're fine. Or whatever it may be. Your face bitten, it was what the fuck ever. I don't know what happened. And you can just completely beat the living shit out of a dog up against a post in the backyard attached to a porch. Because I know the full story.
She just said she didn't know what happened.
And then as it tries to run away, shoot it.
She literally just said, I don't know what happened. Get your nose bit off. I don't know what happened. And then she says, because I know the full story.
So, you know what? I went to jail, guys. Yeah. If it was that or death, I think I'd rather go to jail. So, I don't know many people that I can count on one hand that opted out because they knew something wasn't working for them and said, hey, this isn't working for me. I think I need to go to jail. So have a little fucking respect for me.
I don't have respect for her, you guys. Maybe I'm being too harsh. I don't know. But here's the thing is she was on a certain type of probation that she was going to end up in jail regardless. She was going to end up getting drug tested when she went to court that day. If I'm understanding correctly from what I was told, she would have had to be drug tested. What's it called when you have to, like, they call you in every few, like once a week or whatever, and or you're given a code, a color. And when they pull your color, you have to come in and you have to be drug tested within a certain amount of time, or they, you end up going to jail. So she was going to go to jail regardless, from what I understand. But before she went up there and failed a drug test, she just said, "Hey, look, I'm going to fail it." She was on probation. What is it called? Spot testing. No, it's where you're on, it's a certain time. It's called court something, I think. Court something. But you're assigned a color, and every morning the court has colors that they pull. So if you're on blue and on Friday they pull blue, you're contacted and you have like an hour to get there to be drug tested. Gosh, I wish I could remember what it was called. My friend was on it. So that day, if she would have went in and she would have failed, which she said she was going to, she was got drug court. Thank you, Stina. Drug court. Oh, thank you, Tony. Thank you. Who else said it? Leah, Stina, Morgan. Yeah. Oh, she was opting out of drug court. So see, she was opting out of something she knew she couldn't do. She was going to be drug tested ASAP, and they were going to. So it just happened to, you just said it yourself. Like, hey, I'm not going to do it. Congratulations for being honest for once with the court. But it doesn't mean that someone has to respect you for doing that. I don't know.
Don't ever compare me to a twisted little nothing. Don't. And I don't care what the fuck she has to say about me. I don't want to be associated with her. I don't want to be associated with other people that's been off the show. They disgust me with some of the things that they've let happen. I did nothing, literally. I literally was just, I went to jail.
She done nothing.
And I was depressed.
She went to jail for nothing. She sounds like me. I was arrested for nothing. Only I really was. It doesn't happen a lot,
I went to jail and was depressed. And I'm trying. I went to jail. I got depressed. And now, for years, I've been trying. And my daughter has not stayed with me since I've been gone in an Airbnb for over 20 months. The comments that were made were not accurate. I'm very hurt. I did go to mental health rehabilitation and it did not work for me. I just didn't have a choice. I wish it did. No, I'm not saying poor me. I don't know where you're hearing that. I'm sorry that you're hearing that.
But it sounds like it. That kind of sounds like what she said.
I don't think you guys understand the things that go on behind the scenes. It's sad. I'm pushed to the side. I've been pushed to the side for years now. And I've tried for years. I'm still fighting and fighting and fighting. I will always fight. But I do not understand what happened tonight.
Your daughter is 12. She's making her own decisions on how she feels. Being upset and heartbroken is one thing, but this
hurt me to say this. But
this is a start over. Okay. So, she's like, I don't know what happened tonight. You know what? First off, big shout out to my friend, you guys, Brownie, SHITTS, is on Instagram, and this account posts a lot of Teen Mom related stuff. So go follow that account if you want to stay in the know about what's going on. Teen Mom, Janelle, all kind of stuff. She's always posting about what's going on. I get a lot of my content from her, or clips from my content from her. So thank you so much to Brownie Crap for that. But what happened tonight is you saw your daughter doing what I think we all knew was coming, is that Leah would at some point say, I don't think she's putting in enough effort, so I don't want to go over there, you know? And now you got to figure out how you're going to handle that. But I could tell you jumping on IG Live and insinuating that she's a liar and that Gary and Christina are spoiling her and everyone is to blame but you, that is only going to make things way worse. Now I'm going to let you guys listen to the phone call from last night's episode. Amber called her brother, Bubba, Sean Portwood, to get his 2 cents, and she didn't like what he had to say either. And she normally will kind of listen to him. So we're going to listen to that. Oh, hold on.
The best way to repair a relationship.
What's going on, Gnome?
What's up right now?
Well, you know, like, I don't know if you know, like, me and Leah, we were having problems, and she told me a bunch of things, pretty much, you know, how she felt about growing up, this, that, and the other, that she didn't like, things she didn't understand whatsoever. Leah thinks like I just missed her birthday party, but I would like to do something just alone with her. And just nobody's responding. She thought since she was turning 12 years old, she told me she was independent. There was things she was telling me that you would lift. I told her I'd give her some time.
What about the pain that she's experienced over the last 12 years when she's had a mom that's been absent for
I wasn't absent at all. And in fact, I took care of her my damn self before I went to prison.
Andrew?
I can't do anything about what any ex was doing.
Where you were kind of absent.
Let me tell you something. I'll be absent as if I'll be
yourself at the beginning of this conversation.
I'll be absent if it keeps her away from she doesn't need to be around. I'll be absent. But I'm not absent.
Hey,
I still was in her life.
You cannot be mad at her. You cannot be mad at her and talk about
I wasn't mad at her.
You just said that she made you feel a certain way.
I was there every single week, a couple times a week, or every other week. And if I wasn't there, it's because I was sick.
Maybe she just doesn't feel like she's getting enough attention from you. I mean,
But she is now.
I did hear from Gary that Leah had mentioned that she wanted to do something with you outside of the cameras.
And I asked for it. And she said no.
Okay, well, maybe she doesn't think it's good enough, so you have to come up with a solution.
Guess what? I've already been there without the cameras. I've already done all that. And they can keep running their house behind my back. They can keep doing that. That's what's going on. Gary and Christina did not do their part, is all I gotta say. They did not do their part on what they had said to her. They told her lies on some things.
You have to make it to where even if he is trying to influence her, that there's no question in her mind.
Exactly.
It takes a lot of work to make up for 12 years.
Do you think I'm a idiot or something over here?
Maybe she wanted you to realize that maybe you weren't there as much as you may have.
I was there more than once to 2 times a week. I want her to know that we do have a bond, and she will miss me if I don't come over the way that I used to. I want her to understand. Don't look at your mother and say, I don't have a bond with you.
So she's supposed to lie? You want to teach her to lie? Okay, so, okay, you know, first off, she says, at the beginning of the thing, the call with her brother, that's her brother, Sean. You know, she says that she's feeling some type of way because Leah doesn't feel like they have a bond. But then when her brother, like, repeats that, you know, what about the way she feels? You got to think about the way that Leah feels. She gets mad at him. She gets so mad at him, and she's like, I was there. And then when he says, you know, Gary did call me and Gary said X, Y, Z, she goes, they're running their mouth behind their back. That's what they're doing. Well, I don't know. She knows this, that Gary and Sean were friends first. Hello. Gary could be like, he was my friend at first. So you can't exactly say that just because Gary is calling Sean, maybe just calling him to catch up, or maybe just saying, hey, look, you know, I don't know what to do at this point. Leah's not wanting to see her mom. You know, Amber's not really handling it well. You know, what do you think about this? You know, Amber, that's your sister. How do you think we should handle this? Amber's looking at that as they're talking behind her back. Like, nobody needs your permission, Amber, to talk to your brother, you know, about the situation. It just blows me away that she gets so mad. She says that Leah cannot look at her mom and tell her mom that we don't have a bond. Well, if she feels like they don't have a bond, she daggum sure can. Another thing, she says, I was there once or twice a week. I'm sorry, but as a mom, once or twice a week is not exactly, it could be better. You know, if you are seeing your child once or twice a week, but you are consistent with that and you're not constantly making excuses for why you can't see your child, okay. But don't be bragging about your once or twice a week. That's not, you don't get bragging rights for seeing your child once or twice a week. So we have 973 people in here. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. These IG lives just really blew me away. The episode blew me away, more so on Amber's end. Obviously, I saw a few people saying that they wanted to call in. So I'm going to post this link in the chat. A few people, I'm going to take just a couple calls because we've been on for an hour and 15 minutes already. And my hubby and my daughter just got back. So we'll take a few calls so you guys can tell me how you feel about this. And let's see. And then we'll have to end it. But thank you all so much. Are you guys as blown away as I am by this? I mean, you know, the biggest thing is I do have a hard time because I know Amber has mental illness. So it's hard for me to talk about her because of that. But I'm still feeling like something's amiss here. Like, it doesn't give her the right to say that Gary and Christina's done nothing. It's just mind-boggling to me. Let's be honest. Who really believes she saw her once or twice a week? I bet it was more. Your comment is actually kind of dead on. Amber, excuses are useless. Complaining is draining. Thank you. Yes. For that super chat and for your comment. I love that. You see, I've heard that as well, that it was not once or twice a week, that it was more like once a month. If you guys are going to call in, make sure you have your volume down, because if I bring you in and you're still listening to this live stream, it has to be quiet on your end as far as the live. So when you come in, just mute what you're listening to, and I'll bring you in. Okay, we're going to bring in the first person that jumped in was Joan. So Stephanie, I see you back there. Hang tight. I'm going to bring Joan in really quick, and then we're going to bring Stephanie up. Hey, Joan, how are you?
Hi. I think they just need to get rid of Amber.
I agree.
She has too much going on. She isn't taking care of herself with her bipolar and that, because I have it. I run a normal day. I raised kids. I had foster kids, everything.
And you said, I saw you in the comments, you said that you have, what do you have? Bipolar, or are you borderline personality?
No, I'm bipolar.
Okay.
And I'm a manic depressant.
Okay.
And my doctor gives me meds. I take my meds every morning. And some of them I take at night. The ones that I do, I take them every day. I got a pill box, fill them every Sunday. I have raised my 3 children. I've raised foster children. I've raised a total of 26 children in my lifetime.
Oh, wow.
Between my kids, my grandkids, and my great-grandkids, I have 32 kids right now in my life. And they have problems. We bicker, just like any normal family.
Right.
But you don't throw your kids away.
Right. I can't imagine that. And so this whole time, that's been my thing, is like, I don't know anybody personally that deals with bipolar or anything like that. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if I'm being too rough here. But for you to come on and for you to say, you deal with bipolar and manic depression, but you take your medicine, you've raised so many kids. And while you obviously have problems, what family doesn't? You've been able to stay there. Amber has 2 kids, and she's lost them really early on in their life.
I have 3 children, biological children. I have many more children, but 3 biological children. And I was a very strict mom. My kids used to call me Hitler. I was so strict.
Wow. Okay.
That's bad. And I wasn't the best mom in the world. I don't think there's the most wonderful mom in the world out there.
Right.
My kids were disciplined. They ate what was put on the table. They went to school. And then when I divorced their dad, their dad would always call on his weekends. I don't have money to come out and get him. Mind you, I live 10 miles from the man. Oh, so wow. I said, okay, the kids will be there in a half hour. I'd pack up my 3 children, drive them to their dad's.
I
And
don't.
when I was leaving or pulling in the driveway, the pizza delivery guy was leaving or pulling in the driveway.
Yeah.
Don't have money to come get your children, but you
Yeah,
have
food.
money for pizza. So I did this until they were old enough to drive, but then they made the decision whether they wanted to be with their dad or not.
Yeah. I think that's the best way you could do it, you know?
You take them. And Amber just needs to get, she doesn't open her blinds. She doesn't give herself any sunshine, nothing. She lives in a dark, dingy house.
Yeah.
You gotta have sunshine.
Yeah.
Your depression and your bipolar will get,
Probably get the best of you.
I have to have sunshine.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I get depressed real easy.
Right. I couldn't imagine staying in a house by myself most time with the lights off, and I would be depressed myself, and I don't deal with any type of mental disorder. So I couldn't imagine if I did,
And I've got, our family's chaos when we're all together, but it's a great chaos.
Absolutely.
And never once. I divorced my first husband. I think my daughter was about 2 or 3 when we split up.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do it with help from him financially. I did it on my own.
Right.
My kids had anything and everything they wanted within our means. They had to work chores around the house because I'm a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
As they got older, they had to do laundry. They had to do,
right.
But they've always had to do dishes and that. Their dinner was set at the table every night. They were free for alls for lunch and breakfast, but they did it. And my daughter works in the legal system. My one son's a fireman. My other son's a contractor.
Yeah. So you've done something right, You seem
I don't know if I did it as much as my children did it.
Right.
I was there for them when they needed me. Now that they're all in their 40s, they don't need mommy. But I'm here.
Right. For any time they need you, you're there.
I'm there. There's days where they call and say, Mom, what are you doing? I says, I'm having a bad day.
Yeah.
So they talk with me for about an hour and then they go on about their business.
Right.
And that's how we do it.
Yeah.
And this COVID crap has really killed me with my children.
Oh yeah, I imagine so.
Because we've had 2 new great grandbabies and a new grandbaby yesterday, regular grandbaby yesterday, and it's just killing me. I can't be around these babies.
That's a really bad thing about COVID is when you have a baby, you and the man there, and nobody can come to the hospital, so it's tough.
Well, it is. I was quite amazed at the hospital here in Michigan. My daughter got to go in when her daughter had the baby plus daddy.
Oh,
that was really amazing and lucky because
absolutely.
Normally it's just the mom and the dad.
That's right. They're pretty strict on it here in the hospitals for the most part.
Oh, they're very strict up here.
Okay, John, I'm going to bring Stephanie on. I got about 3 people in the back room, but I'm so glad that you hopped on and you told your story. Bipolar, manic depressant, you take your medication, you have sunshine, and you've raised a lot of children. And even though you've had your struggles, you were able to raise them, and they grew to, become successful kids that still have something to do with you. They're not wanting to talk to mom. So that's a success story right there. And it tells me that Amber can do better. She just has to want to. So I appreciate you.
She doesn't want to. She wants a woe is me.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you. And you have a nice day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Hey, classy mom.
Oh, shit. Hey. Oh, I said a bad word. I thought I was maybe going to be last.
Well, I actually skipped over somebody on accident.
Did you? Actually, you want to go back? You want to go back? Look at me. I didn't know it was going to be on the camera.
You know what? I'm going to I think I can add everyone that's left on the stream, and we'll just take turns because I have Stephanie and I have QG21 in the back. So I'm going to bring everybody on, and we'll just take everybody, give everybody turns. Is that cool with everybody?
Totally.
Okay, so we got 4 people on. This is the first time I've ever done this. Whenever Joan went off, it scooted over. So I was clicking Stephanie. She was next in line, but I clicked Classy Mom. But I was like, you know what? This would be cool to bring everybody on. Okay.
Cool.
So welcome you guys to the stream.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so Classy Mom, I guess we'll start with you. I'll bring you in. So what's your thoughts on this?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts on this.
Yes.
Coming from an experience on a parent side, I'm blessed. I probably have some of my mental issues, but not necessarily clinical. And I think in looking at Amber's perspective is she is so far off from even really understanding her diagnosis to be able to think ahead of how she is as a parent. And I think the hardest thing when you yourself is having a loved one or yourself dealing with mental health or addiction is every single person's experience is so different. So the one thing I would hope anybody, here today dealing with family or, themselves understands is just because somebody else was super successful, dealing with their mental health or addiction, maybe earlier or all along, does not mean you don't have your own road to take and make you go backwards. Because I always worry that when people share their story, for example, when my son was in recovery for addiction, all of our kids were at different places of accepting they had an addiction. Then, there's all these little steps. And then another parent would be like, oh my God, my kid's still relapsing every day, and then they start to think, what am I doing wrong? So for Amber, because I know, I thought you said it so brilliantly on Sherelle the other day, is that yes, unfortunately part of addiction is what we would call narcissistic behavior. Very self-centered. She sees herself as the victim. And so until she can understand that her children and her loved ones are part of that victimization of her mental health, she's never going to be able to progress for her daughter, because her daughter now is adolescent, preteen, and she's starting to realize now there's something wrong with mommy.
Right.
Yeah. And that could be a good thing. And I hope Gary and what's her name? the stepmother, Christina. I hope that they get her in the right therapy to start now versus when she's an adult, because I'm working with a young girl who's 20, who's just starting to realize, holy she, it wasn't me. Mommy, has mental health issues. Right. And all along, mom was making things about me hurting her, me victimizing her, me not working with her. And she's 20 and she's just breaking that, understanding. So I hope I get her some help where she starts to realize and understand what these mental illnesses mean.
Right. Yeah. I think that's probably the best thing that they can do. Someone said in the comment section a while ago, does any of them go to counseling in any way? I know Amber said she went to therapy, but it didn't work for her. She went to intensive therapy, but it didn't work for her. But I think they all need it, even maybe together. Well, so Amber can hear the therapist say, "You are not the only victim in this. They are too." Right. You have to realize that. Because
and the thing with therapy with bipolar people, and I think I see this in Amber, is they do this because when the therapy and the medication management is working, you think you're cured. The problem with mental health and addiction is there is no cure. You are an addict forever. You have mental health issues forever. So until you learn to understand this isn't a fixable, ailment like, measles or, a common cold. This is a condition that's going to be with you forever. So I think what Amber does is she goes to therapy and she does this, gets on this high of feeling better and I'm on the right path, and then she stops.
Yes. I think you're right. Because she'll think I'm bitter now.
And it's like anything, whether it's, myself with dieting. If you're dieting and then you're losing weight and then you suddenly stop and you go back to your old ways, well, what's going to happen?
Right. You're going to start getting weight again. Yeah.
You're going to gain the weight back. And I can sign up and say that, thank God Weight Watchers let you join more than once.
Yeah.
Because
right.
Lord knows.
Yeah.
When do you finally realize, okay, this is like the program works. I'm not working the program.
Right. You have to continue. And
Yes.
Stephanie, you said you deal with borderline personality disorder. Is that what you said in the chat?
Yeah, I have borderline personality disorder and bipolar. I have the exact same diagnosis as her.
Okay.
And like, to me, she's just using it as a crutch. I struggle every day. Like, I'm not going to say I don't struggle, but I take my meds and I've done counseling and I don't use it as a crutch. Like, I have a daughter as well. She lives with my mom, but I have to make an effort. And if I don't make that effort, then I can't say, oh, my borderline personality disorder stopped me from seeing my daughter. It's not that at all.
Right.
But what it is aspects of the way she was acting is congruent to borderline personality disorder and bipolar. Like the manic moments she was saying, like she's very manic at times and she's very high and then she's very low.
Yes.
That's the bipolar aspect of it.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's what I was wondering, because one day she'll be, so like in a rage, and then the next day she's very surprised, and she'll act like she didn't even say what she said the day before. And where is this part of it? Is that you literally forget what you said the day before?
That's bipolar. Like, that's the bipolar part of it. When you're in a manic state, you don't necessarily know what's going on, or you don't necessarily like you can't function really. And if she's not taking her meds, which we don't know, but if she's not taking her meds or on proper medication, then the manic moments are going to be there all the time.
Okay, that would make sense. So you said your daughter lives with your mom, right? Do you mind me asking how old your daughter is?
She's 8.
Okay, and you still get to see your daughter though, right? You see her.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Does she know that mommy has, mental illness? Like, has she got to that point where she sees that there's something there?
She's asked me about it. Like, she's to the point now where she says, like, why do I have to live with grandma? Like, why can't I live with you? And I tell her, I say, mommy has some mental health issues and I can't always properly be there for you and stuff like that. So that's why grandma takes care of you. But like, to me, Amber's daughter's 12, so she obviously knows what's going on. She can see what's going on and see the aspects of it. And so I think she uses it as a crutch a lot of the times. To me, she's using it as a crutch. Oh, well, I have borderline personality disorder, so that's why I can't do this. Or I have bipolar, like, and that's just wrong.
That's how I feel. I'm like, I get it. You have, and my heart hurts that she does, because I feel bad for anyone that just can't be normal and be happy like a normal. I walk outside and the sun is shining and I'm having a great day. I wake up most days, I'm happy. So it's hard for me to imagine someone waking up and things falling into place like you would want them to, but you're just not happy. It's like torment. I can't understand that. So my heart hurts for that. But I'm still like, I don't know how hard it is for you just to, like, wouldn't you want to stay on the right track to get better? Like, at some point, do you hope to have your daughter living with you again? Or do you know this is something that you're probably always going to have to be, it's going to be an up and down?
She'll always be with my parents, just because, like, I'll always struggle. I'm never not going to struggle. Now, eventually, I would like it to be more like she'll be with me on weekends and stuff. But I know myself, for my disorder, I get very tired. And I also have a chronic illness on top of it. So I get very tired. And so I can't, to be with her for a 24-hour period is just not possible. Like, I have to have naps and I have to, so my parents being there is a blessing for me, because, if I didn't have that, she would have gone into foster care or gone into, but I don't blame my disorders I have, and I would never use that, and I would never say, oh, my daughter's lying because she doesn't say this, or, You know what I mean? Like, my daughter has said things to me before, like, Mommy, why can't I see you as much? Mommy, why don't I see you as much? But that's not her lying. That's her, that's her saying the truth. And I think that's what Leah is doing, is she's telling the truth and saying that she doesn't feel comfortable, and that's allowed.
Absolutely. That's what I don't understand, is how she feels that. And QD21, welcome to the stream. Chime in. That's what I just don't understand, why she feels that Leah's not allowed to have feelings in this.
And the thing about it is that Leah, she's only 12 years old. When I was 12, my mom was buying me a makeup kit from Walmart. I was wearing makeup. It's not like I wanted to be around my mom. It's not like I wanted to be around my grandparents. I was out with the kids. I was trying to look cute. I was in orchestra and choir. And at the same time, she has to realize Aaliyah's dealing with stuff too. Aaliyah's depressed, She's not grasping it. And I'm not ashamed to say I do have a mental illness. I suffer with depression, anxiety, and PTSD from being hit by a car.
Oh wow.
But I still manage. I just started counseling like a month ago, 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but they're kids. I still have little cousins. I can call them up today. What you doing? Nothing much. What you mean? I'm busy. Really? You busy? So, y'all give me a second.
Yeah, and I think what she's saying is very true. Like, the fact that, kids are going to be kids. Like, there's days where I have calls with my daughter and she doesn't want to talk to me. And then there's days where I have calls with my daughter and she wants to talk to me for 3 hours. Like,
Right. Well, kids are never the same. Like, even with my kids, I can say, I'm going to Walmart. Who wants to go? And every one of them will want to go, or none of them will want to go. It just depends on their mood, what they got going on that day, and how they're feeling that day. Like QD21 said, Leah is 12, so she's at the point to where she'd rather hang out with her friends than spend at her mom's house, where it's probably dark and it's probably, her mom is probably just hanging out. That's not fun for her.
And at the same time, these days, kids are in the video game, sports.
Right.
And I don't blame Chrissy. Chrissy needs to teach Leah what my grandparents taught me and my sister. You go get your hair done, your nails done. Unfortunately, I'm going back out my hair because I cut it over summer. But I mean, you go pamper yourself. And that's something that every young lady, and even the boys, learn how to pamper your feet, your nails. You ain't got to get nail polish. Just do something.
I tell my husband that all the time. I'm like, go get your toes done or something. Like, go get a pedicure. Like, I mean, I don't see anything wrong. Everything that she said that Christina and Gary done for Leah, to me, was what I do as a parent. I'm not spoiling my kids, but it's ways that I spend time with them. And it's fun for them, especially a little girl going to get her nails done. Like Leah said, when he said, what do you want to do? She said, I want to go, go get something to eat and go get my nails done. That's fun for them. So
and the thing about it that I don't like how people blame a child for their own mistakes.
Absolutely.
It's not right. And I'll come to bat for any child whose parent decides to blame them for that, because I've had that done to me and my family, unfortunately. And it's not right. A child should, I always do say kids are off of discussion when it gets down to negativity. Amber just put negativity to Leah. If I was Gary, I wouldn't allow Amber to see her daughter. I would say no. Forget it.
I would too. I would too, especially after recently what's going on. The way she's literally just called her a liar on a string.
Unfortunately, Amber pulled a Janelle move when Janelle said that Jace was lying.
Yep, 100%. And I'm like, when a parent will call their child a liar over just taking accountability themselves, where Janelle, she could have said, yes, I pulled a gun, I got scared, I didn't know what to do, I shouldn't have done it. Jace, you're lying. Why did you say that? Rather than, Amber saying, this is how it went. I got my feelings. I didn't go to the birthday party. She says, oh, they're lying about it. To that's only going to hurt the situation, because now they see that you will call them a liar when they know they're not lying. Why the
And
heck would they want to hang out with you?
the
She
thing
doesn't
about
take
it is that it's bad
accountability.
for these kids, especially at school, because they face so much. So, and it's peer
100%.
pressure, and it's no different. I have a little cousin who says, because before I do my homework, I read my Bible every day.
That's
He
awesome.
said, and then I do my homework and then start stuff for football. He said, what do I do when temptation hits? I said, you pray. I
Absolutely.
said, because there's always going to be somebody who thinks that they, can do better than you. But I always tell them, you're not better than anybody else. You're better than yourself. I said, I learned that when I was 12 years old.
Mhm.
I said, at the age of 13, here's your big head come along from my Uncle Carell and my Auntie Ursula. I said, just come on out.
Yeah.
I said, but it's something that I wish that Amber would take accountability. I do have a cousin who does suffer what Amber does suffer with, but his is way worse than what Amber's is, and the worst thing that could possibly happen to Amber is her wind up homeless and living out there in the streets and going back to drugs. And
Yeah.
that's not something that we want for Amber, but Amber has to want better for herself.
Right. And I wish she could.
And for right now, Christina's doing a great job.
Absolutely. I wish that would be something that Amber would see as well, because, a lot of people that follow me, I know a lot of people that follow me, and they're not negative people. A lot of people that follow me, they're positive people. And we're all in here saying the same thing, that she's, using this as a crutch, that she needs to take accountability. I think we all want to see her do better. Like, none of us want to see her get back on drugs and be homeless and all this. But I think because we don't see her changing, I know personally me, I'm like, get her off the show if she's not going to do better. But I don't want her homeless. I don't want her, in a situation where maybe she would think the drugs would be better. A lot of people are speculating that maybe she is on drugs again. But I think when it really boils down to it, we all want her to do better, her to get better, and for Leah to be happy, for Leah to feel like she can form a bond with her mom because her mom is actually trying and her mom's not blaming her and her mom's not constantly saying, it's my mental illness, it's not me. That's what I personally would love to see, is for, it'll be one thing if Amber was saying it's my fault and Gary and Christina's done a great job,
And
don't.
it's going to be a while before she takes accountability for her mistakes.
Yeah.
It's going to take a long while. The only thing we can do for Amber is pray for Amber, hope that she does better in life.
Yeah.
And for Leah just to move forward, because what your mom's doing is not really her problem. It's her mother's problem. And she has to, deal with that. And right now, Gary just needs to keep Aaliyah from Amber. That's the best thing, because let's say if Amber does go to sleep and Amber does leave on the stove and Aaliyah, is trying to wait for mommy, well, the house gets on fire. God forbid, we don't want that to happen.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And honestly too, like when you hear those audios of like the way she screamed and yelled when James was there,
It was petrifying.
Yes, it was. It was, knowing that she was hitting, punching Andrew in the arm while Andrew's driving and the baby's in the back, and I mean, I don't know how I would, as a parent, as Gary, as Andrew, I don't know how in the world I would be able to hand my kid over to her to go spend the night with her. It was terrifying.
I believe that the judge just needs to keep James away from his mother. Eventually, Andrew can explain the reason why he doesn't see his mother and his mother's not part of his life. And then Amber has to make the choice: am I going to own up to the mistakes or am I not?
Yeah, she
And
continues to deny it, unfortunately, and I think that's
and denial is part of the process. And I saw this in a video. I can't remember whose video I saw it in, but they said with the mental health cycle, it's a catch 50-55 to a catch 50-51 in the cycle. So a normal person who doesn't have the money for their mental illness is either going to wind up back in the system and in prison or be executed, because there's nothing that people can actually do with them. There's not enough medicine to go around. There's homeless shelters are full. So they're, either going to die in the street or the judge will order for him to be executed. And unfortunately, that's bad. So Amber should be grateful that she's not part of that catch 50-51 and catch 50-55 cycle.
But that's the thing is Amber's been in a great position. She's on a show where she makes enough money to take care of herself and take care of her family. And I know money don't buy happiness, but like you're saying, at least she's not in the streets. At least she's not in jail. At least she can monetarily. She's secure. She financially she is okay. So
True.
she needs to make sure she can keep that job though, because if she keeps on acting out, I don't know how much longer the network can continue to hold on to her.
I
They
think
held on to her.
eventually they're gonna have to let Amber go because
Yeah,
they have already had a Farrah Abraham. They have already had a Janelle Evans. It's too much, and for them to risk that, we have to think. Do you really think that MTV's gonna risk all that just for
right,
entertainment? I
right.
mean, you know, and then Chelsea just left.
Yeah,
Nobody let her go.
she
She was
left.
fine, but
Yeah,
I don't blame Chelsea for not wanting to sit up there and talk about Adam all the time.
yeah, I
You
don't
know,
know either. And
but
Macy was about to leave, until she got Ryan off the show. But that's a
and when it gets down to Macy and Ryan, to me, I guess you can say it's because I've seen it in my own cousin. You can always tell when they're still on drugs if you look into their eyes.
that's what I was
You
wondering.
can always tell.
Yeah,
And he could. They have this device to where my friend was telling me, he said they have a device to where if you pee in the device, it'll come back and you can pass the urinational test. He said for a drug test. He said you just have to stick in your pocket. I said, how you know about this? He said because my dad works down there at the police station and he made me test it out one day. I said, oh, I said, wow.
that's crazy.
He said, and I was high as a kite.
Oh wow,
I said, I said, here's the thing. Me and you don't roll no more because I know what you do.
that is wild. That's crazy.
I said, but does it work? He's like, yeah. He's like, the only thing Brian really has to do is take one of those little devices into the bathroom, stick it into his pocket, and pee in it. It'll come back clean as a whistle.
I mean, I've heard of people passing drug tests. I know a guy that took a drug test every Wednesday for the judge here, and he only failed 3 when he should have failed every one of them. He only failed 3. I mean, I've heard of tricks from adding bleach to your pee,
Yep.
buying stuff to drink. So, there's a lot of ways that you can pass them. And I think, I don't know I can't remember what Amber's stipulations are for the probation that she's on, and it's concerning Andrew. It's not really a drug situation, but I think maybe I've actually thought Andrew's probably sitting here screen recording all her live streams, and he could even use this against her. He could go to the judge
Right.
and say, look what she's doing. She's going crazy on live streams. I don't want my son to see her until she's drug tested.
And at the same time, I wouldn't blame the judge if they just took her rights away as being an unfitted parent. Because I mean, it's not like that hasn't happened before. The first time when it happened, they stated her as being an unfitted parent. Now, she's pulling this stuff about Leah calling her daughter a liar. And I'm pretty sure if anybody's like me, I was kind of upset when I saw that. Like, what
Yeah.
the heck are you talking about? Like, your daughter's not lying. We have seen her on the show sleeping.
Yes. Yeah. So we
So,
know we know that Amber.
so it's like we already know this.
Yes.
And it's time for some of these judges to start using the reality TV as evidence because
Yep.
she has been sleeping before. Even though she had a boyfriend at that time, she's had several boyfriends and she does nothing but sleep.
Yep.
And yes, I know that there are some medicines that will not allow you to sleep, kind of make you function normal. But like my cousin said, that medicine really didn't work for him. It just made him feel like that he was somewhere else.
Yeah.
You
That
know,
medicine can affect people. While it
right?
can affect one person one way, it could affect somebody else completely different. I think that's probably why they have such a hard time. While most medications will work fine for the majority of people with bipolar, for a few, it may not. So then they have to find something else that'll work for them. So QD21, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for coming on and chilling out with me. I'm going to try to do this more often because I had so much fun with you guys. Y'all coming in and doing like a little panel thing. I'm going to do some closing words. I'm going to go ahead and put you on the back, and I'm going to say a few words. And I'm so grateful for everybody that came in today to hang out. Everybody that's in the chat. Thank you all so much. Yeah, I don't know if I'm being too hard on Amber, you guys. I think most of you guys said no. I've had a few people say, that we're trolling Amber. This is my job too. I talk about celebrity, teen mom, reality TV news and gossip. And if you're on a TV show that, in its heyday, back when it was doing really good, it got millions and millions of views, you're going to be talked about. Heck, I'm just a small little channel and I get talked about. So I try not to be too judgmental of people. I try not to be negative with people. Like I said earlier, I think the majority of us, we want to see Amber do good. We want to see Amber back in her children's life. I want to see Mama June back in her children's life. But I also care more about the children because they didn't ask for this. They are the victims in this, not just the addicts while they have a disease or, people with mental illness. Yes, everyone is a victim, but the children are victims that did not ask to be brought into this, and we have to handle them with care. And it just, yes, kids are innocent, and it upsets me so much when I don't see anybody take accountability. Ryan doesn't take accountability. Adam Lynn never took accountability. Amber is not taking accountability. Sometimes when I see her, I just want to reach in the screen and just shake her and be like, what are you doing? You're going to lose out. Like, you're going to lose out on a relationship with both of your kids. And it's all because you just can't take accountability, and you can't ever just for once say, you were right, I was wrong. What do we got to do to work on it? So I'm thankful for everybody that came in today on the chat to give your opinions, to talk about your experience. If you have a mental disorder or you know someone that does, thank you all. Thank you to everyone that was talking in the chat. Make sure, we almost had 1,000 people in here at one time, you guys. That is mind blowing. I'm going to try to do this, once a week. Wildflower Gypsy was supposed to come today. I don't know what happened, but I will get her in here soon. So if you don't follow her, go check her channel out. She has really great videos. On your way out, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Check out some of my other content if you're new here. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Goodbye, everyone.